How would you feel if you were struggling with a mental battle and you finally had the courage to go tell somebody about it, and when you tell them, all they tell you is to be a man, and they tell you that you need to toughen up because you're a man and you're not supposed to have any problems? This is a sad but true reality that many men have to fear and also face in our world today. This mentality towards men's mental health is also the reason why many men are committing suicide and going to an early grave. I'm Jared Hayward, the speaker of today's TED Talk, and the topic is on men's mental health and why it is a problem in our world today. A slight background: men's mental health is no different than a woman's mental health. Both men and women can struggle with mental illness. There is no difference there. The problem is that there is a stigma surrounding men's mental health. And this stigma is that men aren't supposed to have mental health problems. That a man is supposed to be strong and in control, and that they are never supposed to be out of control and break down because of what they are struggling with on the inside. This creates the idea that men's mental health isn't really real or important because no men are struggling from their mental health, is what people believe. This is a problem because the men that are struggling with a mental battle now fear speaking out about their illness because they don't want to be told off, or they don't want to be told to toughen up or to man up. So instead they keep it trapped inside, and it eats away at them like an actual sickness or virus. And instead, every day they wear this fake mask and act like they're all right, while their problems continue to hurt them as they are afraid to speak out about them. So ultimately, this problem of men's mental health is from the stigma, and this stigma is causing men to not speak out and is causing them to stay alone with their mental illness. And this mental illness, in cases, can lead men to suicide. If we look at this infographic, men are 4 times more likely to commit suicide. Along with that, men also make up 80% of suicides. And suicide is the leading cause of death in men. Taking a closer look at this is saying that for every 1 woman that commits suicide, 4 men also commit suicide. Another statistic is that 40% of men have never spoken out about their mental illness. This is because, again, they fear the rejection and fear being told off when they ask for help or tell somebody about what they are going through. And also, 1 in 10 men experience depression or anxiety, but less than half of them receive help. These are all numbers that we need to see change, but these are all numbers that are also caused by the stigma surrounding men's mental health. To find out how to solve men's mental health, we must take a look into what is actually causing poor mental health in men. When it comes to developing a mental illness, men and women can develop them the same ways. Like everyone, we all go through life, and life can get stressful. And when we have a lot of stress in our lives, it can lead to mental illnesses like anxiety, depression, PTSD, bipolar disorder, and many other different types of mental illnesses. They can be caused by a whole variety of things, but stress is a big factor in why mental illnesses develop. Another reason men suffer from mental illness is because they feel they have societal expectations. And these societal expectations are that they are supposed to be successful when they grow up, and that they need to do something big in their life, or they need to make their family, parents, friends proud, or they're a failure. And these societal expectations tying in with the idea that men aren't supposed to have problems can put a lot of pressure on a man and cause him to develop a mental illness. And again, men don't want to ask for help when they have a mental illness, so instead they look for other ways to cope. And this often leads them to doing things like drugs and drinking alcohol because they think it'll be a better way to cope, when in reality it's not. If we take a look at this graph now, this graph is showing the percentage of American men who had any mental illness in the past year from 2008 all the way to 2023. If we take a look at 2008, 13.6 men of the United States, 13.6 men out of the whole United States population of men had a mental illness. By 2023, this was all the way up to 19%. So what we get from this graph is that men's mental illness is growing and getting worse, and we need to do something about it now. So what can we do to solve men's mental health? There are many different solutions to men's mental health, all with which can work together to help break the stigma. Breaking the stigma is the key mission in normalizing men's mental health. If the stigma is broken and we promote open communication and we challenge these harmful stereotypes, along with increasing access to support, this stigma can be broken, and then men won't have that weight on their shoulders anymore that they aren't supposed to have a mental illness, and they will realize that it is okay for them to not be okay. Along with this, we can encourage men in our lives to go to talk therapy and go maybe receive medication. And by encouraging them, they will realize that this isn't making me weak to go get help. This is actually making me stronger. We can also create safe support groups for men to talk about their mental illnesses, where they feel they are in a safe environment and they feel like they are not going to be told off about them struggling with a mental illness. Along with that, men can make many different lifestyle changes, such as staying physically active or becoming physically active if they aren't already, building a supportive network and surrounding themselves with people that are there to help them. Practicing mindfulness and meditation are also great ways to cope with mental illness. Men can also set realistic goals, seek professional help, limit their substance and alcohol use, and also engage in their hobbies and engage in doing what they love. All of these things can help men in their battle against mental illness. But all of these things that are promoted towards men's mental health won't come into effect until we break the stigma. That leads into my next slide, into my next topic. The best solution to normalize men's mental health and to solve men's mental health is by breaking and getting rid of the stigma entirely. By doing this, men will realize that their mental health is valued in this world and that it is important. And if we break the stigma, men aren't going to have to worry about, constantly living in silence about their mental illness. This will cause more men to come forward with their illness and receive the help and treatment that they need. I want to highlight, though, that there are possible problems by breaking the stigma worldwide. Now, I'm not saying breaking the stigma worldwide would create any problems. It's just that there could be some problems in breaking the stigma. And these could include lack of technology. We all know in today's day and age that technology is very useful in promoting and spreading things and ideas. Some countries may not have access to the best technology, so they may not be able to sign up for mental health support groups or men's mental health talk spaces. Another problem could also be apathy. Many people in the world likely don't care about men's mental health. So if they don't care and we have a bunch of people not caring about men's mental health, nothing about it will change. So we need to come together to change and break the stigma. That is the best solution to solving men's mental health. Some ways you in the audience can help to break and solve men's mental health and break the stigma is by listening. Listen to the men in your life. Ask them and make sure they're doing okay. And if they aren't okay, listen to them. Half the time, not even half the time, most of the time men don't even talk about their problems. So if they do, just listen. That can go a long way. Along with that, I already kind of said it, but yeah, check up on your friends. Make sure they're okay. Check in with them every day. Check in with them when you see them. Make sure everything in their life is going okay. Because it's not always going to be okay, because life can happen. But just check up on your friends. And if they do have something going on, encourage them. But don't force them. And what I mean by that is encourage them to maybe sign up for a men's mental health support group. Or encourage the man that is struggling to maybe try some medication. Encouraging can go a long way, but if you force them, they may get frustrated or not want to take your advice. And lastly, don't try and fix their mental illness. Leave that to the professionals. But you can guide them. You can guide them in the right direction in telling them what you think might be best. But don't just try and fix them, and don't just try to tell them that they don't have a mental illness, because men do have mental illnesses. I want to thank you all today for listening to my TED Talk on men's mental health. As I wrap up, I again want to address that men's mental health and women's mental health are equally as important. Neither is more important than the other. It is just the fact that there is a stigma surrounding men's mental health, which often makes it become overlooked, and it causes many men to not speak out about their mental illness. I do thank you all for listening, and I want you to know that you all matter. And here is my works cited page. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk.